Clint Eastwood is humiliated by a real estate agent, but she instantly regrets when truth is revealed. What happens next will move everyone before we continue this story. Let us know where you're watching from. If you enjoy stories like this one, subscribe to the channel because tomorrow we have another special story for you. Clint Eastwood, the legendary Hollywood icon known for his no-nonsense demeanor and rugged charm, pulled up to an extravagant real estate office in Los Angeles. Dressed in a simple plaid shirt, faded jeans, and weathered boots, he stepped out of his dusty truck with the ease of someone who had seen the world. Inside the office, Amanda, a polished and ambitious real estate agent, glanced up from her desk. Her sharp suit and flawless makeup reflected her aspiration to climb the industry ladder. When she saw Clint approach, she raised an eyebrow, her expression a mixture of skepticism and disdain. To her, he seemed like just another time-waster who didn't belong in such an exclusive setting. Amanda reluctantly stood to greet him, plastering on a forced smile. "Welcome. How can I assist you?" she asked, her tone polite, but laced with condescension. Clint nodded, his eyes calm and unbothered. "I'm here to take a look at the Willow Heights property. I have a scheduled appointment." Amanda hesitated, her smile faltering for a moment. She quickly checked her calendar and, to her surprise, found his name listed. Still, she couldn't hide her judgment. "Of course," she said, her tone icy. "I'll show you the property, though I must warn you it's quite exclusive. Only serious buyers typically inquire about it." Clint's weathered face remained unreadable. "I understand," he replied, his voice calm and firm. Amanda grabbed her tablet and motioned for Clint to follow her. She had no idea who she was dealing with, but her dismissive attitude was about to backfire spectacularly. As they arrived at the Willow Heights property, Amanda couldn't help but glance at Clint's truck parked on the curb. It was old and dusty, a far cry from the luxury vehicles her typical clients drove. She gave a faint smirk, already making assumptions about the man trailing behind her. The property itself was a modern marvel, a sprawling estate with glass walls, an infinity pool, and a meticulously designed garden. Amanda's posture straightened as they approached the grand entrance. She turned to Clint with a rehearsed smile. "This is one of the most prestigious properties in the area. I hope it's what you're looking for, though I imagine it might be a little more than you're used to." Clint gave a small nod, his face unreadable. "I'll let the house speak for itself." Amanda unlocked the door and pushed it open, revealing a stunning foyer with a crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling. She gestured grandly, her voice dripping with artificial enthusiasm. "This is the kind of space that makes an immediate impact. Guests are usually in awe the moment they step inside. Of course, it's perfect for entertaining, if that's something you'd typically do." Clint walked inside without a word, his sharp eyes scanning the room with practiced calm. He didn't react to Amanda's subtle jabs. Instead, he ran his fingers along the polished banister of the staircase and nodded thoughtfully. Amanda grew impatient. "Shall we move on? There's a lot to see and I'd hate to overwhelm you." Clint's lips twitched into a faint smile. "Lead the way," he said. Amanda didn't realize her dismissive attitude was digging her into a hole she couldn't climb out of. Amanda led Clint into the expansive living room, her heels clicking sharply against the marble floor. The space was breathtaking, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering an unobstructed view of the rolling hills and cityscape beyond. She gestured toward the glass walls with a sweeping motion. "This room was designed to impress," Amanda declared. "The windows are made from the highest quality tempered glass, offering both luxury and durability. It's a feature sophisticated buyers usually appreciate. Of course, not everyone has an eye for such details." Clint raised an eyebrow, his expression calm yet unreadable. He stepped closer to the windows, lightly tapping the glass. "What about acoustic insulation? Glass this large can sometimes let in too much noise. Does it hold up?" Amanda blinked, momentarily thrown off by the question. She quickly recovered, brushing it off with a faint chuckle. "I'm sure the designers considered all technical concerns, though I doubt most buyers worry about such things. This property is more about making a statement than addressing practicalities." Clint nodded, but said nothing. He turned his attention to the furniture arrangement, the lighting fixtures, and even the subtle art pieces adorning the walls. Amanda grew visibly irritated. She had expected gasps of admiration, not quiet scrutiny. "Shall we move on to the kitchen?" she asked, her tone slightly impatient. Clint gestured for her to lead the way, his calm demeanor unnerving her. As they walked, Amanda muttered under her breath, "You'd think someone dressed like that would be a little more awestruck." Clint heard her but didn't react. He was used to being underestimated, and soon Amanda would learn just how wrong her assumptions were. The kitchen was a showstopper, a sleek masterpiece of modern design featuring imported marble countertops, custom cabinetry, and state-of-the-art appliances. Amanda stepped forward confidently, determined to regain control of the tour. "This kitchen is every chef's dream," she announced, spreading her arms wide. "The countertops are made of Carrara marble, one of the most exclusive materials on the market. It's ideal for hosting extravagant dinner parties or impressing important guests." Clint walked over to the counter and ran his hand along the cool, smooth surface. "It's beautiful," he said simply, "but Carrara marble is porous. What kind of treatment was applied to prevent staining?" Amanda froze for a split second, caught off guard by the unexpected question. She quickly composed herself and gave a dismissive wave. "Of course, all the materials are treated to ensure durability. That's standard for properties at this level. Most clients don't bother asking about such minor details." Clint nodded thoughtfully, his calm expression betraying no emotion. He moved to the cabinetry and opened one of the doors. "Do these have a soft close system?" "It's a small feature, but it makes a difference in daily use." Amanda's patience was beginning to wear thin. "Yes, they do," she replied, her tone clipped. "But, as I mentioned earlier, this property is about luxury and lifestyle, not practicality." Clint didn't respond. Instead, he moved to the appliances, quietly examining their make and functionality. Amanda sighed inwardly. She was used to clients who were eager to flaunt their wealth, not those who asked so many questions. "He's wasting my time," she thought, forcing a strained smile. Little did she know, her frustration would soon turn into regret. Amanda guided Clint up the grand staircase to the second floor, her composure slipping as her irritation grew. Each step felt heavier as she struggled to keep her frustration hidden. Clint's calm demeanor, paired with his thoughtful questions, was starting to unnerve her. They entered the master suite, a room Amanda was particularly proud of. She flung open the double doors with a flourish, revealing a spacious retreat adorned with luxurious finishes, floor-to-ceiling windows, and a private balcony overlooking the infinity pool. "And here we have the crown jewel of the property," Amanda said with exaggerated enthusiasm. "The master suite truly embodies sophistication and exclusivity. It's the kind of space that most buyers dream of showcasing to their friends." Clint stepped inside, walking slowly toward the windows. He examined the view with quiet appreciation, but didn't offer the reaction Amanda was expecting. "The natural light is great," he said, "but at night is the lighting system adjustable? A room this size could use multiple settings for different needs." Amanda rolled her eyes subtly, her back turned to Clint. "Yes, of course," she said, her voice tight. "This property is equipped with automated lighting systems. Clients at this level typically don't need to ask about such features. They just know." Clint turned to her with a faint smile, his eyes betraying a hint of amusement. "Good to know." Amanda's patience was unraveling. "Shall we continue?" "I assume the technicalities aren't your main concern," she said, her tone dripping with passive aggression. Clint simply nodded, his calm demeanor unshaken. Amanda's growing impatience was becoming painfully obvious, and though Clint didn't show it, he was taking note of every word and action. Amanda led Clint to the expansive backyard, her forced smile barely masking her irritation. The outdoor space was breathtaking, a lush garden framed by fruit trees, a shimmering infinity pool, and a cozy fire pit tucked into the corner. It was a paradise meant to captivate anyone who set foot there. "This is the perfect space for entertaining," Amanda began, gesturing toward the pool. "It's ideal for hosting upscale gatherings or relaxing after a long day. Of course, that depends on the owner's lifestyle." Clint walked to the edge of the pool, his gaze sweeping over the tranquil water and the surrounding greenery. A faint smile appeared on his lips. "This is exactly what I was looking for," he said softly. "A place connected to nature." Amanda let out a short laugh, unable to resist another jab. "Connected to nature? Well, for some clients, that's important. For others, it's more about impressing their peers than relaxing." Clint turned to her, his calm expression unchanging. "Sometimes it's better to impress people with who we are rather than what we have." The words landed like a punch, and Amanda felt her cheeks flush. For the first time, she hesitated, unsure how to respond. She quickly recovered, brushing off the moment. "Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it," she said with a tight smile. As Clint continued to explore the garden, Amanda's mind raced. She had dismissed him from the moment he walked into the office, yet his calm confidence made her feel increasingly uneasy. What she didn't know was that the weight of her judgment was about to come crashing down on her in the most unexpected way. As they returned to the living room, Amanda glanced at her watch, barely hiding her impatience. She was convinced Clint wasn't a serious buyer. Her mind was already crafting a polite excuse to end the tour. "So, Mr. Eastwood," Amanda said, her tone more direct now, "this property is designed for those who understand the value of exclusivity. Are you certain it's the right fit for you?" Clint didn't flinch. Instead, he smiled faintly. "It's a beautiful home. I'd like to see the contract and speak with the manager before making any decisions." Amanda froze. For a moment, she couldn't believe what she'd heard. "The contract?" she stammered, her voice faltering. "Yes," Clint replied calmly, his piercing gaze meeting hers. Her heart sank as the realization began to dawn. Forcing a nervous smile, she said, "Of course, let me call the manager right away." Amanda stepped aside, her hands trembling slightly as she dialed the office. Moments later, the manager arrived, his demeanor professional but relaxed until his eyes landed on Clint. "Mr. Eastwood," the manager exclaimed, his face lighting up with respect and recognition. "What an honor to see you again. I hope the property has met your expectations." Amanda's jaw dropped. Her mind raced as she connected the dots. Clint Eastwood, the legendary actor and director, had been standing before her the entire time. Clint gave the manager a small nod. "The house is impressive, but before we discuss the contract, I'd like to address something else." Amanda felt the color drain from her face. She suddenly realized the gravity of her mistake. Clint turned to face Amanda, his calm demeanor unwavering but his words carrying a weight that made the room feel heavy. "Throughout this visit, I've been treated as though I don't belong here, judged, not for who I am but for how I look and what I drive," he began, his voice steady yet firm. Amanda's heart pounded as the truth of his statement sank in. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Clint continued, "Respect shouldn't depend on appearances or assumptions. It's something everyone deserves regardless of their circumstances. Don't you agree?" The manager shifted uncomfortably, his expression tight as he glanced at Amanda. She swallowed hard, her confidence completely shattered. "Mr. Eastwood, I didn't mean to," she began, but Clint raised a hand to stop her. "You didn't need to know who I am to treat me with decency," Clint said firmly, his piercing gaze holding hers. "That's what makes this situation disappointing. Respect is not a luxury, it's a basic expectation." Amanda felt the sting of his words as shame washed over her. She glanced at the manager, whose stern expression made it clear she was on her own. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Eastwood," she said softly, her voice trembling. "I realize now that I was wrong. I let my assumptions guide me, and I deeply regret it." Clint nodded, his expression softening slightly. "I hope you learn from this," he said, "because the next person who walks through that door might not have the patience to teach you this lesson." Amanda felt her cheeks burn as silence filled the room. Clint had made his point, and it was one she would never forget. Amanda stood frozen, her heart heavy with regret as Clint's words lingered in the air. The silence in the room was deafening, and every second felt like an eternity. She could feel the weight of judgment not just from Clint, but from the manager and the other staff who had quietly gathered nearby. The manager cleared his throat, breaking the tension. "Mr. Eastwood, I deeply apologize for this experience. I assure you, this is not how we operate." He shot Amanda a sharp glance, silently reprimanding her. Clint turned to the manager, his voice calm but firm. "I appreciate that, but it's not about apologies. It's about ensuring this doesn't happen again. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect, whether they're wearing a suit or jeans." Amanda's eyes welled up with tears. She knew her behavior had not only embarrassed her, but tarnished the company's reputation. Summoning her courage, she stepped forward. "Mr. Eastwood, I know I can't undo what happened, but I want to sincerely apologize. I misjudged you, and that was wrong. Thank you for pointing it out so I can grow from this." Clint studied her for a moment, then nodded, acknowledging. "A mistake is the first step. What you do from here is what matters. The weight of his words struck Amanda deeply. She realized that this wasn't just about Clint. It was about changing her mindset and how she approached her work and life. As Clint moved toward the door, Amanda felt a mix of relief and determination. This moment would define her going forward, and she silently vowed to never let assumptions cloud her judgment again. Clint stood by the door, his hand resting on the frame as he turned back to address both Amanda and the manager one last time. His calm, yet commanding presence filled the room, and everyone instinctively listened. "This house is beautiful," Clint began, his voice steady. "It's exactly what I'm looking for. But what makes a house truly great isn't just its design or features. It's the values of the people representing it. Today, I saw how easily assumptions can replace professionalism, and how judgment can overshadow respect." Amanda lowered her gaze, feeling the full weight of his words. She knew this moment would follow her for the rest of her career, serving as a constant reminder to treat everyone with dignity. Clint smiled faintly, softening the tension in the room. "I'm not here to hold grudges. Mistakes happen, and we all learn from them. But what matters is how you act moving forward. Treat everyone with the same respect, and you'll find that the world has a way of treating you better in return." The manager nodded quickly, his tone humble. "Mr. Eastwood, I assure you this will never happen again. We'll take steps to ensure our team understands the importance of what you've said." Clint gave a slight nod and handed the signed contract to the manager. "Good," he said simply. "Now I'll let you finish the paperwork. I'll be waiting in my truck." As Clint walked out, the room felt lighter, but Amanda's heart remained heavy. She looked at the manager, her voice quiet but resolute. "I'll do better," she said. The lesson Clint left behind was unforgettable, not just for Amanda, but for everyone who witnessed the encounter. Respect, as Clint proved, was not negotiable.